Today we also have with us Françoise Barbira Freedman. She's a founder and director of Birthlight. She is PhD from Cambridge and she is still active in medical anthropologist at the University of Cambridge, where she holds an affiliated lectureship. While working as a senior yoga teacher and yoga therapist specialized in the area of reproductive health for women and their families, she initiated a prenatal yoga module for yoga therapy diploma course created by Dr. Robin Monroe at the Yoga Biomedical Trust, London in 1995, followed by postnatal yoga and well-woman yoga. She has pioneered a style of yoga accessible to all women, irrespective of their level of fitness and background, with a focus on prevention and integrated maternity care. Birthlight, a UK-registered charity, originated in experimental Cambridge-based classes with the aim to enhance well-being during the prenatal continuum from conception to year 3. For this purpose, she pioneered equinatal yoga, baby yoga, and a yoga-based approach to water parenting. Birthlight is an acclaimed international training provider with an extensive network of trainers, teachers, and members, including health professionals as well as yoga teachers and therapists. She has authored 10 books on yoga and contributes to Yoga General. She is a long-standing member of International MERS Society of Prenatal Mental Health and the Society of Psychomatic Obstetrics, Gynecology and Andrology, the Journal of the Pre- and Postnatal Psychology and Health Association, among others. Besides speaking at international conferences, she convened Birthlight conferences at Cambridge, London.
Namaste, Barbira ji. So much happy to have you on this platform of United Consciousness. We all are ready to listen from you about a gift of yoga, peace between self and self. That's an amazing topic. So much looking forward. If it is possible for you to tilt your screen to horizontal instead of vertical, that will help us to see you in the bigger screen completely. No, I think it is not right now, because we see you horizontal. If the screen can be shifted to horizontal so that in the bigger screen we can see. If it is not possible, then it's okay. Perfect.
Yes.
If camera can be shifted, mobile itself can be shifted to horizontal. Yes. Okay, it is not happening. That's okay. Let's go ahead.
Okay. So today, thank you. And I do resonate with United Consciousness very much. Namaste, Vikranji. Most yoga practitioners worldwide are what we call traditionally householders, the stage before family duties subside and we can respond to spiritual calling, if not seek a cave. But families stick to us at both ends, aging parents and needy children who seem to take longer to grow up. As fake truth, disinformation, and visible violence raise the stakes of our spiritual journeys on this planet, we unroll our yoga mat to find a small haven of peace and self-anchoring. But often, thoughts of families are persistently invasive, with a retinue of unwanted emotions: guilt, blame, self-blame, and then shame for feeling anger and frustration. More people in cities now live alone in flats. Their yoga sadhana is a precious resource, a private sacred domain protected from families and ideally from unwanted thoughts about them. Doing yoga, a mode of self-care, is thought of as quintessentially a personal quest. The yoga mat is an exclusive space where we carve our self-growth and take pride in our self-discipline. But this exclusion does not fool our aching hearts. Deep down, families keep intruding our thoughts despite our best mindfulness efforts, because we long for harmony and peace within, and wherever we turn, our lineage haunts us. We can't shoot the messengers because they are too close to to us. In some way, we know they are us. In this short talk, my goal is to invite you to welcome the intruders, your relations with you on the yoga mat. In a simple way, from a humble perspective of practice, in the busyness of everyday life, I propose that repeated tiny instants of self-nurture, wherever family thoughts bubble up in our yoga practice, can create a pathways to the infinite nurturing force that runs the universe, Brahman. However wretched and miserable our childhoods and family lives may have been, or even still be, they hold glimpses of the yug, the union with the greater self at the source of creation. Peace, peace of mind. Does this word even mean anything? There is no stop button we can press to end the turmoil of being in now's world. Yet our bodies, our hearts, and our minds remember, even faintly, the beauty, silence, and love we long for. The Aryan threads that take us back home, out of the labyrinth, surround us on and off the yoga mat. As we row our boats as best as we can in the live stream of the nursery rhyme that all small children love, the water may seethe with frightening crocodiles, but the shore's always there, inside, like a mother's embrace, encompassing all horizons. After learning from the wisdom of First Nations that care for all our relations comes first, I have dedicated my adult life to develop applications of yoga in its multiple forms to enhance the experience of birth and early parenting for women, for babies, fathers, and families. This is the foundation of life, and introducing yoga in this deeply transformative threshold brings manifold and long-term benefits. Conception and pregnancy are extremely challenging for mothers and for fathers, and babies are hard work. As the trend is to have less of them, life changes are even more acutely felt. But where is the promised happiness many longing parents feel is eluding them? As a mother of 4 and a grandmother of 5, the fulfillment and joy I have gratefully experienced in a personal way have been the source of my yoga teaching. As I get older and drawn to a more contemplative yoga practice, I see the integration of deep-seated early memories buried in the limbic part of the brain as a stumbling block, but also as a golden opportunity in householders yoga during and outside pregnancy and early parenting. We have all been born, we have all been held and fed. For most humans, this early survival is accompanied by expressions of love. And even if there was not enough love, holding on to early trauma chains us to suffering. Whether we need therapy or antidepressants or not, and whatever school of yoga we turn to, retrieving the innocent, unconditional love we received or craved for as babies in arms is part of our Dharma. Many images convey access to self-realization. One image I treasure from the proverbial saying that went viral long ago is that of a fish swimming in the ocean without and then with the awareness of the water. Non-duality, as in the teachings of Vedanta, can create dizziness if we ponder over it too much. But jnana is much more than intellectual knowledge. It's a deep, integrated, knowing feeling. What I would like to share with you here is that if the yoga mat can become a space of connection where we invite the multiple components of ourselves, including inevitably family relationships, to join us, this can free the memory of loving and being loved unconditionally above and over memories of trauma and suffering. This is a bold statement, which you may find so daunting and foolish that you may decide to stop listening right now. But hold on, if the yoga mat is not a refuge for strife, as potentially famously put it, to avoid the fluctuations of the mind, well, value can also be in accepting emotions. When one of my yoga teachers told me, quoting BKS Iyengar long ago, that yoga helps one to become one's own mother and father, I long fantasized about this creative dissolution of primal attachments. It sounded both awesome and terrifying. As I was a young mother at the time, it just didn't make sense because I had my baby in my heart and I could not imagine doing yoga without my baby close as I had done during pregnancy. This was the beginning of baby yoga, an integrated parent-baby practice soon done in groups of parents. We faced the rejection of orthodox yoga schools, but the experience of joint self and baby discovery was real enough for parents not to doubt it. Not only in interaction, but in the unimaginably deep joint relaxation with babies, parents engage their emotions in yoga rather than hanging them on the shoe racks at the door. In the concentrated empathy required in baby yoga, care becomes self-reflexive and consequently self-nurturing. Communication generates love, and as interaction becomes enriched during practice, parents' hearts expand in a way that often takes them by surprise. It's a three-way win that includes teachers too. As I developed classes, I could see that yoga not only made an emotional connection with their babies possible, but also with other people, with parents, mediated by the oxytocin hormone, which also presides in the devotional practice of bhakti yoga. In the space defined by the yoga mat, this helped to unwind long entangled soul knots with parents and siblings. Daughters picked up the phone to talk to mothers they had cut off from their lives. Sons felt inspired to engage in conversations they had missed with their fathers. And if they could not do so in real life, they did so virtually. Over more than 3 decades, baby yoga cohorts multiplied worldwide, and invariably, similar outcomes of friendliness, happiness ripple through their lives and that of their growing children. Could this possibly happen with babies out of the equation? Let's think in reverse. In limbic time, we are still the babies ourselves emerge from. And as newborns, even if our mothers and fathers could not relate to us for reasons of their own, we still love them unconditionally as babies, particularly our mothers, with whom our subjectivity was fused in the first months. Early trauma, even deeply inscribed in our limbic memory, cannot wipe out memories of this initial innocent love with which we came into the world. Not their love, but our love for them. It may have been thrashed and trashed, but the seed is still there inside. My experience of teaching baby yoga has inspired me to see the yoga mat as a transgenerational instrument of connection in reverse, inviting parents as we hold them inside ourselves, most often with unresolved mixtures of positive and negative feelings. This invitation is open, predicated on a non-judgmental attitude and the option to close the door when presence becomes overwhelming. I am not afraid, Ramakrishna asked his disciples to repeat as a mantra. Om, the sound of the universe, infinitely powerful in traversing all the layers of our being, the koshas, stabilize each small experience of welcoming unwanted family thoughts, each tiny insight gained. The ancient image of patiently dipping cloth in yellow dye to obtain a beautiful saffron robe comes to mind. When hatred and resentment for parents subside, however justified they were, it is like doing baby yoga or flying kites together. And with this, an indescribable feeling of self-nurture comes. After all, my teacher of long ago was right. With yoga, one does become one's own mother and father, together lavishing nurture and bliss. Whether our parents are alive or not, temporal images with facial expressions and perhaps hand gestures impinge on our consciousness when we least expect it. This is when filling the gap can create a small opening of blue sky between the thick clouds. Being brave enough to pause for a split second when we feel our embodied emotions surging is like finding a clutch for changing gear. It gives us agency to start reversing the downward spiral of doom and gloom that has become addictive. Yank, yank, long hard work. No, idle is instant and effortless until the mind chatter takes over again in a flash and redoubles its propaganda. Repeating this often, ideally every time family stuff comes into our field of consciousness, gradually makes the idle feel the normal. The humanity of perpetrators dawns on us. It's not a mind thing. We do not mind the gap. We innocently register images and emotions in the heart area. Sometimes we stand between our parents and our children in complex emotional cascades. So, when a life knock opens a gap we can't bridge easily, yoga's gift is to move us to the center of the wheel. Then we feel at one with the divine. And as the Chandogya Upanishad says, we rejoice in Brahman, we revel in Brahman. In the hub of the wheel of life, we are not detached, but we are actually super attached. We are more alive. Every spoke of yoga practice fuels centrifugal and centripetal movements of connection. This is such a delicious state of being that forgiving becomes the easiest thing in the world. How was this impossible for so long? Ancient yogis knew the values of props to facilitate or reinforce a grounded state of open-heartedness. Hastaya mudras engage our nervous system in compassion. Mantras take us from darkness to light without fail if we chant them with intent. They are like spells to connect self to self, self with a little s to self with a large S. Take your pick. And to conclude, the simple-minded heart-opening Bhakti Yoga in the form of instant awareness of emotional gaps on the yoga mat brings a sweet peace. In these gaps, judgments that cloud the reflections of our soul are illuminated. Each impulse of courage to welcome family thoughts is rewarded exponentially, replicated manifold in our bustling householder's life. We are in a cave in full daylight. Rakshasa demons fly about us as in science fiction films. We can light the purifying flame of puja with the delight in Shandham, the infinite lively silence of the creation that we can still hear in quiet nature places. Yoga is connecting us not to a promised shore of enlightenment, but to all the relations we're interwoven with, endlessly healing past and present. Om Shanti, 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 Hari Om.
Thank you, Barbara ji. It was for the first time I'm listening so many Sanskrit verses and quotes from you. It is very inspiring. And I'm glad that along with that amazing work that you're doing in in childhood, bringing good memories for the childhood, learning First Nations wisdom for birth experiences and early parenting. Lots of inputs you're taking from yoga also, so that life becomes beautiful. And the way you mentioned yoga mat is a transgenerational instrument to connect for a fully functioning relationship, connect us from self to self. Thank you very much.